Paul says, work out your salvation daily. What made Paul to put this verse from prison? Can we suggest more insights on how, as a believer, should look at this verse? Should a believer work out his or her salvation till the last day of life?
Yes, like we did in our study of Romans, we did something called as ordo salutis, and we defined many terms starting from justification, sanctification, glorification, and all of that. So salvation, unlike what we popularly think, is not an overnight event. When you kneel down, receiving an altar call. That is the moment at which you are justified. Okay, you are considered righteous before God because of the righteousness of Jesus Christ that is clothed on you. So that is the beginning of what is called as technically a salvation. And we continue to grow in holiness, which is sanctification. And finally, when we are about to meet the Lord face to face, when the Lord meets us face to face, that is glorification. So like I have said in the past, John Stott describes or defines salvation as, I was saved, I am saved, I will be saved. The salvation is a process, okay? So that's how we have to understand salvation. Here in this particular epistle, that's the meaning with which Paul is writing. So Paul is speaking, work out your salvation, which means he's probably referring to the second part, okay? Progressive sanctification, or growing progressively in holiness, in purity, in blamelessness is what he is referring to here. He's saying, continue to work out your salvation. He said in chapter 1, verse 6, he says, a beautiful verse that many of us take comfort from, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. So he began a good work in us, justification. Carrying it on is also God's job as much as it is our job. So Paul wants us to understand that there is divine sovereignty and human responsibility that is working hand in hand in progressive sanctification, or becoming more and more and more and more holy. So that's why he says, just like you would go to a gym, you've been given muscles, you've been created, with muscles. You go to a gym and you work out. Okay, you work out your muscles and keep them in shape and make them stronger and stronger, and God will assist you in doing that. And ultimately, when you meet the Lord, you would have reached that perfect stage called glorification. I hope that helps. So Paul continues to perhaps practice that in prison. More importantly, he's writing to his Philippian audience about how they need to do it on a daily basis, having been encouraged about being presented, confidently by the sovereignty of God on the last day. They cannot be slack, saying God will do everything, I need not do anything. They also need to partner with God and work out their salvation, not in a very flippant, light way, but with fear, reverential fear, and trembling as if it was something that could any moment slip away from them types. Okay, so there is that beautiful tension and dynamic with which we need to hold this idea of eternal security and assurance of salvation. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.